Howdy guys, welcome back to another episode of Friday the Top 13, where this episode I'm going to be doing a ranking of Jason, his appearance, so Jason's looks, so not the films, just the way he looks, not even the portrayals, just how I like, the look of him in ranked. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Currently in the silent horror group, we are going through the Friday the 13th franchise along with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and so this month we are pretty much finishing the Friday the 13th before the remake. So yeah, that's why I chose this one to do. And I don't want to rank the films until we're done that series, so I'm going to do this instead. Alright, starting off with my number 13. My number 13 is Jason X. And not the Uber Jason, but the regular Jason at the start of the film. I think he looks kind of bland. I don't like the look of his mask. And he doesn't look undead anymore for whatever reason. I know it's like decades or centuries later, but maybe he's regenerated. That might be a thing he does. Sorry if my cam is shaky. We're driving right now. But yeah, not a big fan of the Jason X look. Kane Hodder's the man, but obviously that's not his fault. But yeah, Jason X is my number 13, the regular Jason. Alright, number 12. Number 12 is the one and only child Jason on this list, and that will be obviously Jason from the first film, Friday the 13th, where he jumps out of the lake at the end and drags the lady down into the water. So that's our first look at Jason, very memorable one. Obviously, back in the day, I imagine that was kind of shocking some people to see that happen. But obviously, with the entries into the franchise after that, we've come to know Jason as this hockey mask wearing killer, and that's how we like him now, right? But back then, that's who Jason was before the sequels. So it looks pretty cool. You see his deformity, his shocking, cringy to look at, and obviously that's what is like hiding behind the mask, right? So that's your initial look at Jason, so that's why I like that one. Okay, my number 11. Number 11, some people adore it, some people hate it. I like it okay. I'm talking about Friday the 13th Part 2, the Sackhead Jason, or the, whatever it is, pillowcase Jason. Yeah, I like it okay. I just like the hockey mask better. It's the classic look, right? So I've heard a lot of people say they like Sackhead better and more intimidating, and I can see why people would like him more that way. I'm just imagining in my head the scene where Jason gets out of bed with the sack head and he kind of just glares with wide-eyed glare at his next victim. Yeah, pretty memorable scene, memorable look too. So that's my number 11, Friday the 13th Part 2, Sackhead Jason. Okie doke, moving into my top 10. Alright, this is technically not Jason, it's a Jason imposter, but because he was the protagonist in the series, I'm going to add him to this list. He's got the Jason look, obviously. But Part 5, the imposter killer with the hockey mask and the blue stripes rather than red. I like it okay. It's I think it's the blandest look, in my opinion. The blandest look for, I was going to say Jason. It's not Jason, obviously, but I just think he looks too clean. The mask is like super white, a nice blue jumpsuit, despite the carnage he's inflicting. It's just bland. It's alright. Number 9 is definitely the most unique look for Jason, which is probably why it's so low. I do really like this look. It's just, it doesn't feel like Jason to me. That's why it's so low. I'm talking about Uber Jason, the second look for Jason in Jason X, with the metallic mask and metallic parts on his body, whatever. Very cool look. look. He's got the red eyes, intimidating. But like I said, it just doesn't feel like Jason, doesn't look like Jason. And, you know, we like Jason for a reason. He's got the classic look and the, you know, you need the hockey mask, right? Okay, so that's my pick for number 9, Uber Jason. Alright, number 8 on my list is going to be the first time that we see Undead Jason. That's part 6, Jason Lives. I like the costume. It looks perfectly fine, the mask and everything. My problem with this look is the tool belt. It does not match his other attire. Obviously, it just looks too clean, too freaking like Home Depot, whatever. Doesn't match him at all. And for his look, I feel like his head is way too big. I don't know if it's the costume he's put in or the prosthetics or makeup or whatever, but his head looks like a gigantic bubble behind this mask, and it just looks awkward to me. But fantastic film though, one of my favorites. So that's Jason Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Okay, number 7 is a look that I suspect might be on the bottom of a lot of people's lists, but I think it's underrated. Talking about I think they call him the, what is it called? The Jellyfish Jason? I can't remember. It's the Jason from Jason Goes to Hell. The beat up, not burnt, but like the bloated look with the, like, just the mask that goes around just his, like, facial features. And I really like the look here. He's got the tattered clothes, you know. You don't see him very much in the film, but the times that he is on the screen at the beginning and at the end, I do admittedly really enjoy that look. It's different, and it's a good kind of different. It's Jason, obviously, and it's just you know, a revamp of the look. Obviously, this happens much later after the events of the 8th film, so he's had that time to take more damage and more carnage, so obviously his look has degenerated. Yeah, so that's my pick, Jason Goes to Hell. Alright, going into number 6. Number 6 is the remake for Friday the 13th. So I think it looks pretty good. The mask is, I don't like it as much as the original mask. I just find it, I don't know if it like feels like it's too tight around his face or whatever. It just looks less intimidating to me. I do like his clothes. He's got the tattered clothes and like the old coat on, and it's just another pretty decent look for him. In contrast to like the jumpsuit, it's something different. And the portrayal was pretty good. I know we're not really ranking portrayals, but I do like that portrayal of Jason quite a bit, and so it works with that look. And yeah, that's my pick for number 6, the remake of Friday the 13th. Okay, number 5, my top 5, and this is a pick that might get me some hate, but that's why I specified at the beginning that I am ranking some of the looks and not the portrayals, because I absolutely detest this portrayal of Jason as well as most people. I'm talking about Freddy versus Jason. So that look looks really good. Another one with the tattered clothes. He's got a coat on in this one too. Back from the dead, revived by Freddy, and I just think he looks good. He's got his darkened skin because he's undead. You've got the mask looks really good too, and I just don't like how he was portrayed. He just looks like a bumbling fool, but he looks good. That's Freddy versus Jason. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is a film that would probably end up at the bottom of my list if I was ranking the Friday the 13th. But I do admit that I very much love the look of Jason in this film. That is Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Just something so creepy about that wet look. just the mask it looks like a lot rounder, and you've got the darkened eyes. He just looks real intimidating for some reason. And that wet look in the contrast to his older undead looks, where he looks a little bit more dusty and stuff. This is really cool looking. It probably would end up higher up on my list if I liked the look of Jason without the mask on better. I didn't like how he looked underneath the mask, so because of that it's a little lower than it could have been. But the get up with the mask on, the look of him walking through Manhattan near the end of the film, it just feels and looks epic to me. So that's my number 4, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Going into my final 3, number 3 is going to be the film where the hockey mask was first introduced. That's Friday the 13th Part 3. And obviously this is a look that inspired and continues to inspire the look of Jason, years later, right? Very cool looking. You've got the mask. It looks a little bit longer than the next entries into the franchise, but it still works for him. You got the 2-piece green outfit. It looks pretty cool. And actually, I adore this. I adore Jason without the mask on. His look, his deformed look underneath the mask, in those brief periods that you see it, that's probably my favorite, or one of my favorite maskless Jason looks. I think he looks really creepy. And the only thing I don't like about this one is I think he had a hunchback or something in that film that kind of made him look. It just didn't fit him. I'm glad that they dropped it, but he did look like he had some sort of a hunchback, and that's the only con that I have about that look, because I think that he looks great in that film. Portrayed by Richard Brooker, rest in peace. That's Friday the 13th Part 3. My second pick is probably my favorite film in the franchise. That's Friday the 13th Part 4, the final, or not the final Friday. Is it the last chapter? Final? What's that? The final chapter. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. If you the look of it looks like the third one, but they've dropped the hunchback, which is really good. It makes him look a little bit more square and more intimidating, like square shoulders. I mean, so instead of being like hunched over, he's more broad, and I think it makes him look more intimidating. And yeah, that's really the only reason. Obviously, he's got the cut in the head. He's got the blood on the mask, which makes it look cool. So that's my second pick. Friday the 13th, Part 4, final chapter. And of course, my number 1 is probably number 1 on most people's list, to be honest, so it's not controversial in any way. Friday the 13th, Part 7, New Blood. The undead Jason, after he escapes from the lake, or is I guess revived by the girl and comes out of the lake. Epic look. You've got the broken mask, the undead, the skeletal back spine area, and just the clothes are just ripped to shreds, and looks absolutely fantastic. You got the chain still wrapped around his neck from the sixth installment, and Jason underneath the mask, once it's popped off his face, looks fantastic. The best looking undead Jason in the franchise, in my opinion. So that is my number 1 pick, Friday the 13th Part 7, New Blood, for the look of Jason. So that will conclude this list. Next one, I'll be doing my top 13 films from 1980. So stay tuned for that one. And then, of course, as we proceed through the franchise, we're doing, like I mentioned, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street all in one right now in our series reviews. So once that's complete, I will be reviewing all of those films. Not reviewing, but ranking them. All of them. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, all in one video. So stay tuned for that as well. I'm really excited. Okay, so you guys have a good weekend. Be safe. See ya.